It's Madden NFL 23, and the spotlight is on Najee Harris. He was steady for them on the ground a week ago, reaching the century mark and adding a score. It's the Seahawks and the Saints, and it's coming up next.
We are just south of Pioneer Square here in the great northwest city of Seattle at newly named Lumen Field, home of the 12s. Today, after a crazy opening weekend, it's on to week 2, and we've got a good one here between the New Orleans Saints and the Seattle Seahawks. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you look at this Seahawks team as they get ready here. They've been buoyed by getting 2 home games right at the start, and they come off a good victory in week 1.
And going back through the tape, I thought they looked pretty good last week. It was a solid win, a comprehensive win.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Saints, they too were winners last time out, so something's got to give here.
And I love it when both teams come in off of wins. Great mindsets, and it usually leads to a really well-played game.
Good job.
Two teams here fresh off week 1 victories. Who can keep it going as we're underway on EA Sports? Takes it at the 7. And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20. So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. As we get a peek at their dynamic signal caller hailing from Mississippi State, it's Dak Prescott.
And how about the toughness of Dak Prescott? We see it all the time on the field. And remember when he had that serious ankle injury, would he return to form? Boy, did he ever. And he was better than ever, and that's great for the NFL.
Dak going to start out going to the air. That's swung out wide to Harris. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. 13 yards on the game's opening play.
Nice little nifty play for him there. Yeah, that's the ability to read a defense and utilize players that don't often get picked up in coverage easily. And I'm talking about being able to use the backside of the backfield. Because I know that when I used to cover, hey, we got everybody oh, he just snuck out there, and they just got a nice first down there.
What do we love to say? Get those backs into space, right? And they were able to do. Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Tariq Woolen picks it, and the Saints are going to take possession of the football.
Brandon, I wonder if someone's down there checking on the head coach right now because he might be in a little bit of shock after what just transpired. Instead of a lengthy opening drive to deal with, his guy stepped up and stole that drive away. Momentum on their side now. How will they attack on offense?
So here are the Saints now with great starting field position. They'll be led out by the #1 overall pick back in 2020 from LSU. It's Joe Burrow.
And he certainly had his share of struggles in the opener, threw a couple of ill-timed interceptions in the game. So that was something that was harped upon all week in practice. Because if he's going to help this team be a winning one, he can't give the football away like he did last week.
Now Pollard. And a good-looking run there as he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18-yard line. Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a first down.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down. Otherwise, it's going to be a long afternoon.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. Gonna run again here with Pollard. And this time he's not going anywhere. They'll get him down right at the line of scrimmage. Now Burrow to throw on 2nd down. To the sideline, and wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it, but he is able to keep the feet in bounds. On 3rd down, Burrow. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And the Saints are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
That's a sharp throw right there on 3rd down. They're looking to get the first points of the game, and they certainly don't want to be on a field goal. So that's a nice job to get the hook up and set up a 1st and goal.
Pollard diving for the end zone, and he'll get there. Touchdown.
Well, Brandon, he just followed his nose, and his nose took him to the end zone. But how about the big guys up front? Give him at least a stalemate in order to find that space.
Yeah, the O-line won the battle in the trenches there, didn't they? Now for the point after. And it's good as the Saints have a 7-0 lead. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he returns this to the 22. Seattle's offense coming back onto the field, ready for their 2nd drive. Now remember, the last time out, they threw the interception. That led to the touchdown, so now time to regroup.
It certainly is, and their goal right now as they go back out on the field, a calming drive. Something that takes the ball, keeps it for a while, lets the defense relax a little bit, and lets the offense regain confidence in their game plan.
And he'll power his way forward for about 4 yards there on the 1st down carry. A look at the numbers for Harris in last week's game. 17 carries, 126 yards, and a trip to the end zone as well.
Well, they set a nice tone in week 1. He's among the leading rushers in the league. I think that they continue to feed him the football and continue to establish the running game so they can get the play action and throw the ball deep later on.
Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7. Is that one officially a loss of 1?
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
On 3rd down, it's Prescott. The throw for Claypool is intercepted. Picked up by Charvarius Ward. And the Saints are going to take possession of the football.
Well, they're certainly not giving much help to their defense, are they? Because for the 2nd time now, that D has had to run back out on the field early after an interception. And remember, on the last drive, the opposing side took it in for 6 after that interception.
Offense back out there, and we shine the spotlight on the Memphis man, Tony Pollard. And you see his numbers from a week ago. He was up over 100 yards then, and he's already hit pay dirt here once in this one.
We always talk about quarterbacks and receivers getting into rhythm, right? Really feeling good, finding each other downfield. I think running backs operate the same way. They can hit a good rhythm and a good stride, and he's carrying it over from last week.
Off the play fake, here's Burrow. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. Burrow on 3rd down. Oh, he's got his tight end pitch complete. And he is going to have a Saints 1st down, and he was able to get it by plenty. A gain of 8 on 3rd and 3.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then of course they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. and that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
Run from Pollard. And he's eaten up at the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a yard down to the 16. On 2nd and 9. Burrow got this complete to the tight end Pitts. On 3rd down, it's Pollard. He didn't get the touchdown, but he did get the first down as he's tackled at the 1. It's a gain of 8, and it'll wind up moving the chains. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
Now here's Pollard. And he'll barrel his way into the end zone for a Saint touchdown. Tony Pollard, his first rushing touchdown on the year. And the Saints are off to a 13-0 first quarter lead. So 2 drives, 2 touchdowns here in this first quarter, and he's got both of them.
Well, he's certainly setting himself up for a big game here, and I think if the play caller doesn't get in his own way, they should keep riding him the entire way of this game. Until the defense proves they can stop him, that's what I would call.
Now the extra point. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. So this drive spans 7 plays, and it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Taken in at the 3. And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further. He's piloted 2 drives so far, and unfortunately not very well piloted. Both led to interceptions. Now they're facing the deficit. Another touchdown after that previous pick. Starting over here, 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Throws the out route and finds Claypool. They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24. Here's Prescott. Finding Johnson on the out route. That's complete. And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds. On 3rd and 1, here's Prescott. Again, it's Johnson. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field, because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
Now a first down carry for Harris. And he's going to take this across the 50 and into Saints territory. On 2nd down and 4, Prescott throwing the out route incomplete. It's Johnson. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. 3rd catch for him on this drive alone, and it'll give him a first down. That's now 4 completions in a row. A good bounce back following the interception last drive.
Certainly not letting it affect him, that's for sure. And we all know interceptions are going to happen. So the big trick, don't let it affect you going forward. Most of the good quarterbacks, they just tell the ball boy, get that one out of the road.
Oh, Prescott stripped. And this is picked up by the Saints. And he'll get this one out to the 50 to the midfield stripe. And so the last 3 drives, you've got 2 interceptions and a fumble. I think we know why they're losing right now.
Without question, and we've seen the evidence, just what you talked about there. If they take care of the football, number one, maybe they're not having this deficit. And number 2, maybe they actually have the lead.
The New Orleans offense back out and ready to go. It has been about as perfect of a start to this game as these guys could have asked for, Charles. They've scored on their first 2 drives. They still haven't given anything up on the other side of the ball, so they can already make this a 3-score game here if they can come away with points on this drive.
Yeah, they're almost pushing them to the brink, aren't they, partner? Almost to the point now where it's a loss of words for me, which I know would excite all of our viewers, but you're just now supposed to see that type of dominance so quickly in a game like this. Everything they've done has been working so far. Offense, defense, you name it, it's going well for them.
Now it's Burrow. Hard throw, incomplete. Here comes the Saints punter now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. And we will get another look at Seattle's offense. They've been outplayed early, no question, down 14-0 already as they come up 1st and 10. Play action now, Prescott. That one taken in by T. Higgins. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They'll try the right side with Harris. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Harris going to get it again on 2nd down. 4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7. To throw is Prescott. And he's taken down here by the Saints. And that's Grady Jarrett who forced his way through to register the sack.
Well, partners, the first quarter, too early to start talking about needing a comeback. They're down 2 touchdowns already, and that sack, that disrupts this drive. They need something to go right on offense, and they need it to happen soon.
Blake Gillikin on to punt now on 4th down. He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. Rodgers on the return. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. The New Orleans offense set to take over. They've got things going their way early. 14-0 lead and the football. 1st and 10. They'll run with Pollard to begin the drive. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3. Now the holder's going to keep it. He's going to try to run for it. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play backwards a yard. Now Burrow. That's into the hands of Pitts, the tight end. He's going to have the 1st down and more than that. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. A big play that time on the catch and run. 37 yards.
That is the exact right play call against that defense. So a hat tip to the offensive play caller because he won that part of the chess match. But give credit to his players as well. They won the execution part of it.
They'll run with Pollard, and he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down. From the 36, Burrow. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And they'll work this down inside the 30.
We often talk about understanding the playbook, understanding progressions, and understanding what the defense is doing. We saw all of that on that play. Great recognition and understood where his running back was going to be. Found a way to have him leak out underneath, hit him with the football, and they picked up the 1st down.
And he will possibly get back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. On the other hand, it will definitely take us to the end of the 1st quarter of play. The Saints with the football here to begin quarter number 2. As they've got it with a 2nd and 10. From the shotgun, it's Burrow. He's got his pass-catching tight end. That's Pitts. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 15-yard line. A 14-yard gain there as they look to improve this 14-point lead.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little game. To throw on 2nd and 6. Burrow throws out left. It's caught by Williams. The Saints on 3rd down. They've been near perfect. 4 for 5 to this point. This time they face a 3rd and 2. They're passing here. Joe Burrow. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. Burrow going for it on 4th. And able to catch it, but he's out of bounds. And the throw took him beyond the sideline, and that's going to be a turnover on downs. So the defense has to stay out and get one more stop. They were able to do it, forcing the incompletion.
So on their record, that goes down as a successful play. Doesn't matter how they got there, how it happened. They got it done. They're the ones that are jubilant.
Harris starts the drive on the ground, and they'll get him down up past the 15-yard line. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Prescott on first down. It's brought in by Harris. It'll go as a gain of 4, and it'll be 2nd down. They hand this off to Harris. And a short gain there as he'll get it up only to about the 24. On 3rd down, here's Harris. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Defensively, he has been a presence in their backfield in the first half. Had a sack earlier, and now he comes up with a big tackle for a loss.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. And a fair catch taken back near about the 35, 36-yard line. 36 yards on the punt with no return. Offense back out there, and we shine the spotlight on the Memphis man, Tony Pollard. We're in the 2nd quarter. They've got the lead. The lead, though, not so much because of the ground game, because of their air attack, Charles.
So what they're seeing so far is the possibility of things loosening up later in the ground game. Through the air first. Maybe they have to start respecting that even more as the game goes on. And then there will be running lanes to find later.
Yeah, trying to get him more involved here on this drive maybe. Call that a very strong gain of 24.
Certainly no settling into the drive there. They came right out on the first play and attacked the middle of the field for a big gainer and a first down.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Here's Pollard, and he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Sometimes I forget how much information he has to go through before the ball's even snapped. But what a diagnosis right there. Saw the play, shot through the gap like a rocket, and ends up spilling it for a loss.
So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. From the shotgun, Joe Burrow. That's going to be complete on the sideline, but, you know, that throw left him no room to run, and the good footwork nearly all for naught. He's been a busy man here in this one, and they're showing off some nice footwork to stay in bounds.
And with those types of catches and the volume that we've seen in this game, wouldn't you keep him busy as well?
I would.
Of course. You got to keep throwing it to him. He keeps making plays.
Out of the gun, it's Burrow. He's got this complete to Williams. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. 3rd catch of this first half for him, and this one is a first down.
Partner, he got the DB on his horse on that play. He's
plenty of shouts from this crowd as they watch the replay. They want a challenge, and they're going to get one. Did he keep those feet in bounds? That's the question they've got to decide. And I got to say, watching it in real time, it was awfully close.
Yeah, it certainly looked like a heck of a catch because he didn't appear to bobble it, which could complicate things. But even with the benefit of replay, that's pretty tight.
Well, here's the call. That's leaking to the right, and he missed it by a foot or two. It's no good, and this will remain a two-touchdown game.
Yeah, 55 yards is anything but a gimme. You've got to really concentrate on your leg swing and proper technique. This time, though, he's unable to convert.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. Trey Hendrickson showing off his pass rush repertoire that time. Well, last game he had 2 sacks. Got another one here, picked up right where he left off.
Brandon, he spent the entire offseason working on new moves, new techniques, trying to add to his arsenal of pass rush moves. Certainly paying dividends in what we've seen so far.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Calls for the fair catch, makes the fair catch just inside the 15-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Saints will take over with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. So the drive's going to start with Pollard. And he works it across the 25 before being tackled. 50 yards rushing for him now with a couple of touchdown runs to boot. Well, CD a lot of times like to separate speed and quickness, and they've got a back that's both. We know that he's fast in the open field, but, man, his first step is so quick, too.
It is something, isn't it? Because you think of that type of speed getting to the perimeter and turning upfield, but also when you run those inside runs, he can get into the secondary so fast the linebackers don't have a chance to react.
First down, and it's Pollard again. He'll get a yard, that's all, as they get him down at the 28. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. And they go play action now. Burrow. Got his man. It's Williams. And he's out of bounds, able to take this one up to the 35.
Unnecessary roughness. Defense.
A little too much extracurricular there.
When you have a game with a lot of contact, tensions are going to run pretty high. You're going to be emotional, but you have to harness it somehow, and he didn't on that play.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. They run straight ahead here with Pollard. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. And now they will throw it with Burrow. Throws the out route and completes it to Samuel. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 38-yard line. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
They'll go with Pollard here on 1st down. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4. On the draw, it's Pollard. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. Another 6-yard carry, same as last play. 1st down.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
first down carry by Jones. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up. From the 22, Burrow. He'll find Williams on the slant. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. The pickup goes for 13 and sets him up first and goal.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Now a give here to Pollard. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. Tony Pollard on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Saints have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. So what a first half that he has had running the football. That now 3 touchdown runs.
And I would anticipate that when they get down in the red zone, he's going to get more chances as this game goes on. And I think that the guys blocking for him are going to ask for him to get more chances. They like the rhythm they've developed.
Extra point right down the middle. And that makes the score 21-0. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And a 9-yard run on the end of it. The ball upright on the tee, and the Saints kick team booms it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. As Seattle now ready to march onto the field.
Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession. But I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. And if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up second and 11.
Well, as a wideout, when you take that handoff and you're coming around the edge, you're expecting to see nothing but empty space in front of you. But if not...
Well, things can go south in a hurry, and that's exactly what we saw on that play with a loss.
Looking at a second and 11 now after the loss. Out of the gun, here's Prescott. And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. The sack by the linebacker, Jamin Davis. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have highlights and analysis of this first half of action. And yet again, nowhere to run. This time, maybe we'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that.
Here's Blake Gillikin now.
He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away.
On the return, it's Rodgers.
8 yards on the return following a punt of 41.
And they will take over first and 10.
Now the Saints, they trot their offense out here.
And as the offense begins another drive here, pretty simple, Charles. They want to carbon copy what happened the last time out when they ended their drive in the end zone.
You're right about that, partner. Sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? Just score again, but we know it's not that simple because we don't just make adjustments at halftime if you're a good football team. You spend that time on the sideline, you study what's on the notes and the tablets, and you make those adjustments, prevent a repeat of the last drive. Series to series, the best teams, that's how they get it done.
And we'll find out here soon enough whether those adjustments are enough defensively.
And this is caught, but I don't think he...
And I believe they buzzed down. They're going to take another look at this play with all
play
reviews coming from the
review.
replay official here in the final 2 minutes of the half. Did he keep those feet in bounds? That's the question they've got to decide. And I got to say, watching it in real time, it was awfully close.
Yeah, it certainly looked like a heck of a catch because he didn't appear to bobble it, which could complicate things. But even with the benefit of replay, that's pretty tight.
Well, here's the call. So that challenge, a successful one.
Here comes the Saints punter now, as he'll kick it away for the second time. And a great job on special teams to down it, as this will be marked out inside the 5-yard line.
That punt was near perfection as it checked up inside the 5-yard line. You never know where these things are going to go, do you?
No, what was it? You got a John Heisman quote about that,
yeah,
right?
He said the football is roughly a prolate spheroid, which means it's going to bounce funny, and you never know where it's going to end up.
A first down throw for Prescott. That swung out wide to Harris. And they'll bring him down right around the 13. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. Only needing 2 yards on second down. Prescott to throw it. Johnson with a completion over the middle. Now another timeout called for by the offense, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. First down, Prescott. He gets it complete to Harris. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. From the 27th, Prescott over the middle. That's caught by Claypool. Now the offense will burn their third and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. To the air again, Prescott. That'll be incomplete as the clock will stop with 14 seconds remaining. Here comes the 7th play now of this drive, as this is 3rd and 10. Here's Prescott. Oh, he'll let one go deep for Higgins. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And they're going to get this down inside the 15. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you back over to Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report, here's Jonathan Coachman.
Okay, Brandon, we'll get you back to you and Charles in a bit, but first it's time for a trip around the NFL following an eventful opening weekend. Let's see what's happening in Week 2. We'll begin out west at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, and they have just about gone to halftime with the Panthers out on top. Patrick Mahomes has thrown a touchdown pass there. From there, we head east to check out the Patriots at home in Foxborough. And they were losers in that one to the visiting Tampa Bay Bucks. Javonte Williams, a touchdown run in the victory. Lastly, we head to Southern California to check on the Rams at home at SoFi Stadium. And that one all tied as they host the visiting Falcons. On now to a look at the next-gen stats in that first half for the Saints. And the ground game has been a big part of why they have this big lead. And you have to figure they'll lean on it a little bit more in the 3rd and 4th quarters. Meanwhile, for the Seahawks, there's a look at what they were able to do throwing the football. And they'll need to get things in gear as they trail here at the break.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Set now to go for the 3rd quarter. The Saints have the lead and set to receive the kick. So here are the Saints to take over. They're leading right now and on the heels of that victory last week against Arizona. 1st and 10 as they start this drive. And they'll begin by running the option.
And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34.
A little do-it-yourself run right there, and a nice gain.
And I like that he knew that that was about all he was going to get. So he did a nice job of protecting himself, took care of the football, took what the defense gave him. If they continue to allow him to do that, they'll find their way taking what they can all the way to the end zone.
On 2nd and a yard. Burrow over the middle and complete to Waddle. Just his 2nd catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Now, this offense really looking polished these first couple of weeks. Here's 1st and 10.
They go play action with Burrow. That's going to be caught by Samuel. Only able to gain a couple there, and it'll be 2nd down. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it.
This one swung out here to Jones. And they're going to get this up to midfield.
Now the holder's going to keep it. He's going to try to run for it. And the ball is out. Jones got hit and lost it. Here comes the Saints punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. 37 yards on the punt with no return. And it'll be Seahawk football as they take over deep in their own territory. A handoff to Harris to begin the drive. Brought down around the 16 or 17. Showing some tough running there. On 2nd and 9. Prescott setting up the screen. Harris. Give him 6 on the screen, but now it's 3rd down. Trying to pick it up on the ground with Harris. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. The Seahawks send out their punter as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away.
And here's Rodgers on the return.
A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. And now the Saints get set to trot out there.
No points last time out. They were forced to punt, if you remember, but no time to dwell on that. They've still got the lead here and a chance to add to that here. 1st and 10 as this new drive starts.
They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Burrow will throw. That's going to be caught by Pitts. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. 8th catch for him now. He's been a big factor. And it's a 1st down.
This is just more of the same. This defense has had no answer on a lot of these throws. They've let these receivers run wild, and here's another completion for good yardage.
It'll be a handoff to Pollard to about the 40-yard line.
From the 40 now on 2nd down.
Burrow. That's caught left side to tight end Pitts. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the third quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
Some extra space following the display of power. Down just inside the 45. And the holder's going to keep it. He's going to try to run for it. They'll need to get this to the 38. That's where the first down marker is here on third. Now it's Burrow. Swinging this out for Pollard. So he stopped for no gain. And that'll bring up fourth down.
Excuse my snarkiness here, but isn't the idea of completing a pass supposed to mean you get downfield and gain yards?
Especially on third down.
Yeah, that one. How about the defense? Figured that one out in a big way. Yeah, they completed it all right and lost yardage.
Here comes the Saints punter now, as he'll punt it away for the fourth time today. And this one's out of bounds. Should be inside the 10, I think it is. At the 6-yard line. And for an offense that is struggling, this is not where you want to start from. Great punt.
Fantastic punt. And for all those who wonder, what do punters do during the course of practice each and every day? The best ones do what we just saw there. Work on positioning the football and helping their team.
They'll start on the ground with Harris. Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. Again, it's Harris on second down. And this time he won't even make it back to the line of scrimmage as they stop him in his tracks. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up third down.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
A third down now. Those last 2 plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points. Toward the sideline, it's complete. An athletic grab, but still well short of the first. The Seahawks send out their punter as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the Saints will take over with a first down and 10. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
On second and 9, Burrow. And Burrow going to be hit and taken down. They got him. It'll go as a loss of about 6, and now it brings up third.
I think a lot of time when we see a sack, you say, well, you blame it on the offensive line, the quarterback, but here, maybe you just tip your hat to the defender. What a play.
Yeah, and I think sometimes they just get a sense of the play before the ball's even snapped. Kind of like a sprinter anticipating the gun in a race. They're off. And guess what? The quarterback's down.
Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. And it's going to be incomplete. He was able to catch it there on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. And it's going to bring up fourth down. Here comes the Saints punter now, as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 18-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And it'll be Seahawk football, first and 10. They'll start the drive with Harris. And a loose football. And this is picked up by the Saints. And he's into the end zone. A fumble return and a Saint touchdown. Even the great ones, some of the best, they're not immune to the fumble, and here it really hurts them.
If the ball gets away from any runner's body, that's when the defense pokes at it, swipes at it, swats at it, and finds a way to create a big play for themselves.
look to kick the extra point. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way, the fumble return for a touchdown. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. From the 6. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. Najee Harris and the rest of this offense worked their way back onto the field. Looking for a bounce back. Had the fumble a moment ago that went for a touchdown the other direction. See if he can get back in rhythm.
And you have to be very careful about having too quick of a hook with really good players. I did a guy's game in high school where he fumbled 3 times in the first quarter, finished with over 300 yards on the night, later ended up in the NFL. If you've got a talented back, give it back to him.
Finding Johnson on the out route. That's complete. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. Prescott looks to throw on first. Again, it's Johnson. 4 receivers now in the formation. 3 to the left, 1 to the right on 2nd and 7. Now Prescott. And that's off the mark, incomplete. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Looking to throw. Prescott. He's got a man open. It's Chase Claypool. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
And that might be exactly what they needed to wake up this home crowd. They haven't given them much to cheer for so far, and never underestimate the effect the home crowd with you can have on a game.
Work to do here to avoid falling to 1-1, but this is 1st and 10 right now.
A throw over the middle, taken in.
And he'll be marked down right at the 15-yard line.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Harris running straight ahead. He takes us down to about the 12 for a gain of 3. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Here's Prescott. Dancing to his left. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away. An 8-play drive to this point. So here's play number 9 on 3rd and 7. Now Prescott. Being chased out left. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away. And his kick is right there. It's good, and that drops a deficit from 28 to 25. So they get the 3 points, but they've now had 3 trips into the red zone, and that's all they've come away with.
And in the NFL, the way they measure red zone efficiency and success, did you score touchdowns on those drives? That's first and foremost. Getting points, that's the second measurement. So by that measure, they haven't done very well. They've got to figure that out.
Out onto the field comes New Orleans.
And Charles, a very uninspired effort. The last time we saw them out there was a quick 3 and out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. They're passing here. Joe Burrow.
That's to Waddle on the quick slant.
It'll go down as a gain of 6. And now we've got a 3rd and 3.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Burrow on play action. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away. Here comes the Saints punter now as he's on to kick it away. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field.
Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Prescott stripped. And the offense will cover this one up, but they'll be pushed back inside their own 10.
Second time in this game, Charles, the ball has squirted out from his hands. Luckily, his teammate was there to pounce on it.
You're right. Got the lucky bounce, able to retain possession. You know, we often talk about the combine and why do we measure quarterbacks' hands. Is that really a big deal? It's for situations like this. Do you have the hands big enough and strong enough to hold on to the football while being jostled?
The Seahawks send out their punter. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. Now a fair catch is called for and taken a few yards across midfield. A 40-yard punt, no return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The New Orleans offense set to take over. But not that any of the points would be needed, but CD, they've got enough time left here. They can definitely score on this drive, maybe even an ensuing drive as well, if they really want to drive home this landslide victory.
Yeah, we're certainly about to see just how aggressive they want to be here down the stretch. And what some coaches do is they try and meet it halfway, meaning they want to continue to run their offense, but they'll put in a lot of backups to do it and then tell the opposing coach, hey, I had to give them some work too. I can't just let them sit over on the sidelines all the time.
102 yards for him on the ground now and 3 touchdowns to go along with it. Historically, this is such a tough, loud venue, but you can hear a pin drop right now. A lot of fans long gone, not used to seeing a lopsided score like this.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Off the play fake, here's Burrow. That's into the hands of Pitts, the tight end. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. 23 yards the pickup there.
Partner, I have to tell you, just one word keeps coming to mind from watching them this afternoon, and that's impressive. They have been impressive from the opening kickoff, and they haven't let up here even into the fourth quarter.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11.
Now it's Burrow.
They'll drop this underneath to Pollard.
And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. On 2nd down, it's Pollard. Just a gain of a yard, but it's going to set him up with a 1st and goal.
Pollard will score. Touchdown, New Orleans. So I tell you what, Charles, I know that you don't put a ton of stock into power rankings and things of that nature, but another score here, and 2 weeks into the season, this is maybe the most impressive team in the NFL. Would you agree?
Well, they've certainly sold me as they've sold you, and I agree with you, no question about it. They won easily last week. They're on their way to another lopsided victory here. They're definitely a team to be reckoned with, and they are serving notice to the rest of the league.
The call is to go for 1 and kick the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. The ball upright on the tee, and the Saints kick team booms it away.
And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback.
The Seattle now ready to march out of the field.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing. Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So for New Orleans, it was a great all-around performance as they come out of this one with the victory. And they'll get another road date next week as their opponents will be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Meanwhile, for the Seahawks, they'll fall to 1-1. And they'll be on the road next week as they get a date with the Jaguars in Jacksonville.